Good evening. Welcome to the daily bulletin of the farmers' protest. Today is 8th February 2021. The topic for today is the Kisan Yatra, the Kisan Adhikar Yatra that is happening in Bengal. Why this yatra? Where this yatra will be? And why are farmers of Bengal up in arms against the central government? Today's issue is not about the three farm laws, the demand of repeal of these farm laws that I've been speaking about till now. You see, on 1st February 2019, just a few weeks before the 2019 Lok Sabha election, where Mr. Modi was seeking to be re-elected, Mr. Modi announced a scheme which he named after himself. That scheme was called Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, PM Kisan in short. That scheme gave the farmers of India, every farmer of India, 6,000 rupees universal basic income per annum. So the scheme said, any farmer of India who owns land up to 2.5 hectares, which is roughly 5 acres, would be entitled to 6,000 rupees direct payment from the central government. Direct payment. The payment would be given 3 times a year, every 4 months, at 2,000 rupees every time. So 3 installments every 4 months, 2,000 rupees per installment, that's 6,000 rupees a year. The scheme was also launched retrospectively. Mr. Modi wanted to pay the farmers of India 2,000 rupees just before the elections began. So the scheme was retrospective and started from 1st of December. So here are the 4 months. December, January, February, March is one lot, first tranche. April, May, June, July is the second tranche. August, September, October, November is the third tranche. The payments are made at the beginning of every tranche. So Mr. Modi paid 2,000 rupees for December 2018 to March 2019. Why did Mr. Modi pay this? Why did he launch the scheme? Of course, if you ask Mr. Modi, he will tell you that he announced it because he felt that the farmers' income needed augmentation and supplement, so this was a government augmentation of the income. But we have to keep in mind that in December 2018, the BJP lost 3 major Hindi heartland state elections. It lost in Rajasthan, where it was in power. It lost in Madhya Pradesh, where it had been in power for 3 terms. And it lost in Chhattisgarh, where it had been in power for 3 terms. So the message, the writing was clear on the wall. Farmers of India are unhappy with their income and would vote out Mr. Modi in the 2019 Lok Sabha election. Hence the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi. So far, so good. When it came to Bengal, something peculiar happened. There is a little history before we come to Bengal. The concept of providing farmers income supplement did not originate with Mr. Modi. In fact, he copied the model of 3 other states, at least 3 other states. The first state to offer income support to farmers was Telangana. That scheme was called Rayatu Bandhu. The second state was Odisha. That scheme was called Kalia. The third state was West Bengal. In January 2019, it launched Krishak Bandhu. That is about 5,000 rupees a year. So seeing the success of these schemes, seeing the support the state governments were getting from the farmers from these schemes, Mr. Modi thought that he should have a scheme of his own. Now, the state schemes are independent from Mr. Modi's central scheme. So a farmer in Bengal would be entitled to receive 5,000 rupees under the Krishak Bandhu scheme and 6,000 rupees under the Samman Nidhi scheme. So that's a total of 11,000 rupees a year, approximately roughly 800 rupees every month. It may not sound like a lot to us who are listening to this bulletin in English, but it's a lot of money for the impoverished and economically distressed farmers of Bengal, and for that matter, farmers of India. Now, the Bengal scheme came in January, the central schemes came in February, and the Bengal government stalled the central scheme. How could they do that? It was simple. The central scheme requires farmers to register online on a portal maintained by the central government called the PM Kisan Nidhi portal. The farmer can upload the documents, the land ownership documents on that portal and become entitled. But those documents, the ownership documents, the record of rights to the land that the farmer has uploaded on the portal need to be verified by the state government. So if the state government does not cooperate, does not verify, then the farmer will not get payment under the Kisan Samman Nidhi. The West Bengal government refused to do so. So, from the very first installment from December 2018 till March 2019 till now, farmers of Bengal have not got payment under PM Kisan Samman Nidhi. That is 6 installments. So that's 12,000 rupees. By the time we come to April 2021, it will become 7 installments. That is 14,000 rupees. This became a big political issue in Bengal. Farmers were up in arms, asking why they were not entitled to receive this money from this central scheme. Mind you, most of them were already receiving money from the Bengal scheme. But they were entitled to the central scheme money and they demanded it. Understanding the political situation, the Chief Minister of Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, just a few weeks ago, sometime in the middle of January, said that we will process all the documents so that the farmers of Bengal can get money from the central scheme. And she challenged the central government and said, now you please pay. In this backdrop, we must also remember that on 1st February, when the budget was presented, the allocation for PM Kisan Samman Nidhi, which was 75,000 crores for the previous year, 2020, was reduced to 65,000 crores, which means the central government decided to spend 10,000 crores less in this fiscal towards the Samman Nidhi Yojana. So the government, on one hand, the central government on one hand, reduced the allocation to the scheme, and on the other, kept saying that we want to increase the number of beneficiaries to the scheme. Very bold announcements were made of greater coverage of farmers. Now, I was always very weak in maths in school, so I could be wrong, but perhaps someone can tell me how you can allocate less money for a scheme and have greater coverage of beneficiaries all at the same time. But you know that slogan, if Mr. Modi is there, it will be possible. Modi hai to mumkin hai. So with less money, he wanted to give greater coverage. Now, cut to Bengal. When the state government released or stopped being a blockade to the Bengal farmers receiving this fund, the central government had to think of something. They didn't want to pay. That's very clear. The budget had a reduction, so they don't have money to pay. They don't have budgetary allocation to pay. So yesterday, Sunday, 7th of February, at a public meeting in Haldia in Bengal, Modi made a grand announcement. He said that if BJP forms the government in Bengal, is elected to power in Bengal, then in the very first cabinet meeting, a decision will be taken by the BJP-ruled Bengal government to make payment under the Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana to all the farmers of Bengal. So basically he said, if farmers of Bengal vote BJP to power, then BJP will give them their payments under this central government scheme. He also said that arrears, the 6 installments that the Bengal farmers have not received, that's 12,000 rupees, will also be decided to be paid, and the state government's cabinet, the BJP state government's cabinet, will make such recommendation. There are 3 major flaws in this positioning that Mr. Modi has taken. Number 1, a central government scheme's entitlement is not connected to any political party winning or losing an election. These are public funds being spent under a public program with very clearly demarcated beneficiaries. And whether they vote or not for party A or party B, they are entitled to this money. So to link this payment to BJP's electoral success in Bengal is not only morally and ethically wrong, is legally incorrect too. The second problem is that the Chief Minister of Bengal has been depriving or stalling these payments to the farmers for 6 installments, 2 years. It's high time they get this money. They must be paid immediately before the election. And if they are happy with the person, with your government that this is paying this money, they are free to vote for that political party or not. But you cannot, Mr. Modi cannot put their voting for BJP as a condition to their receiving this money. That money has become long overdue and must be paid immediately. And the third problem is that farmers of Bengal have a clear entitlement under a central scheme. That entitlement is universal. That entitlement is for all farmers. Farmers of Bengal cannot be a football between the central government and the state government and cannot be kicked around like this. First, CM Mamata Banerjee had no business stalling this scheme, refusing to certify the papers and documents. And second, Mr. Modi has no business to make payment under the scheme conditional upon BJP's electoral success in Bengal. So with these 3 problems clearly visible on the face of it, farmers of Bengal have decided that it is high time that they launch a statewide agitation to get what is rightfully theirs, their legal entitlement to 14,000 rupees under the Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. And that is the Yatra that we are starting. To begin with, farmers have to be told the details that I am sharing with you. For that, the Kisan Adhikar Yatra will start in several places of Bengal. I personally will be in a Yatra from 10th of February, that's day after tomorrow, 10th to 12th, 3 days. I will be covering 3 blocks of South 24 Parganas district, I will be going to Kultali block, Mathurapur 2 block, and Jayanagar 2 block. I will cover these 3 blocks. So a 3-day yatra to just cover 3 blocks of one district. That is how deep we want the penetration of this message to be. And what is the message? The farmers of Bengal are entitled to 14,000 rupees under the Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, and that payment must be made by the central government immediately within the month of February before the elections, and have to be paid without any association or connection with the election. And the state government must hold camps at panchayat level to enroll farmers and to ensure that there is no blockage in the way of the farmers receiving this money. All documents of farmers have to be approved by the state government on war footing. So basically, the demand is on the central government to make the payment and the state government to facilitate the payment, so that long before the elections in Bengal, these payments are made. And then the farmers of Bengal will decide who to vote for. And that decision may or may not be connected with this payment. It is their choice and their wish as to who they want to vote for. They cannot be held to ransom in the way Mr. Modi has done in his speech at Haldia yesterday. Another funny thing has surfaced as I was studying the subject. I don't know if I can show you this, but I have a document which has come to me from Kultali. It is dated 30th December 2019, where BJP volunteers have gone around villages, collected farmers, brought them to the computer centers, made them enroll under the Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, have collected 120 rupees from each farmer. I can see a receipt issued by the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi, Department of Agriculture, generated by NIC, and this receipt is for 15 rupees. So BJP volunteers have been merrily, there you see the receipt on your screen. So BJP volunteers for the last 2 years have been traveling all over Bengal, collecting money from farmers, 120 rupees from each farmer, promising that they would get payment under PM Kisan Samman Nidhi. Now, many of you know about the cut money story of Bengal. So the ruling Trinamool Congress has been accused of taking cut money, and I can certainly tell you that most of those accusations are true and correct. So Trinamool volunteers would ask for a share, would ask for a cut of every payment received by every beneficiary under government schemes. So that was cut money. But you saw that document on your screen. The BJP is not in power in Bengal yet. But yet, its supporters, its cadre, are going around collecting 120 rupees from the poorest of the poor, the farmers of Bengal, on the false promise that they will be enrolled under PM Kisan and will receive the money. So BJP has started collecting cut money even without being in power, and is accusing Trinamool Congress of being the kingdom of cut money. So this is what the future of Bengal looks like. If Trinamool is the masters of cut money, BJP wants to become the next and the most glorious and more powerful masters of cut money. And they've already started collecting cut money. No farmer needs to pay anything to the government of India to become entitled to receive money under the Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. So We will start the Yatra, as I said, day after tomorrow. We'll be there for 3 days. There will be many such Yatras all over Bengal with only one message: give us our due money of 14,000 rupees right now, here and now, today. I see I have hit my time limit. I had more visuals to share with you, not about this, but about the Chakka Jam that we held on 6th of February. We'll quickly run through them. Can we have the photographs from Junjunu, Rajasthan, please? There. I will be a little rapid today on this. Supal, Bihar. Araria, Bihar. Tamil Nadu. Palghar, Maharashtra. Bihar again. Kurnool. Bagnan, Howrah, West Bengal. Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh. No, that's not right. This is South 24 Parganas. Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh. Okay, we can come to South 24 Parganas. North 24 Parganas. This is my organization, Jai Kisan Andolan. North 24 Parganas. National Highway blockade at West Bengal. Jharkhand. Jhargram, West Bengal. Arunachal Pradesh. Is this Arunachal Pradesh? I don't think so. Karnataka. Jaipur. Uttarakhand. Bengaluru. So that's all from me today. See you in the next bulletin tomorrow. Till then, take care, and I'll be back with more news about farmers' protests all across India. Thank you for watching and being with me. Good evening.